Hello, students. It's me again, and we will be working on the same spreadsheet because I'm not trying to give away too much information so I can make your homework easy for you. So that would defeat the whole purpose of learning. So even though you might like that, I don't think I should do it. Well, in this video, we're going to talk about functions or formulas. You will not be dealing with formulas or functions in its complexities. You're just going to learn how to insert functions or in formulas. And the most ones you probably be dealing with is like sum, average, and maybe if function or what they call conditional. Anytime they say conditional function, you're talking about if, then, else, and, or not. They're using words to give you an outcome or a condition. You know, if I go to the store, then this is what you need to get. You know, things of that nature, and that's what the if functions and words of those type of meanings are called conditional formatting in a sense. Um, so when we're dealing with formulas, you always want to put the formula or the function in a cell to where you want it to be, which is pretty much an empty cell. Either it's going to be horizontally or it's going to be vertically. Okay, depending on what data set you want to have an outcome in. So we already have the total here, which shows the sum function. So let's do an average function. And there's a couple of ways you could do a sum function. Let's go here to the formulas tab. You could do an auto sum if you click here, or you can do average, count numbers, max, maximum, minimum. But you also can go here to insert a function. And I'm showing this just so you know different ways of doing things, because sometimes there's more than one way of doing something. And some people are comfortable and confident enough to use different options within an application. And if you go here, usually you can just type in average right here. If you don't see it in the select a function box, you can just go here and where it says search for a function. And you can type, well, let's get rid of that. Let's highlight this, get rid of this information. I could type in average and it's not case sensitive. I don't think it is. So let's try it. So I type in lowercase average. And as you can see, it's already going to show here. But it did it anyway and showed it again. And as you can see, all the functions are basically in capital letters. So I will go here and click OK. Now, when you get the function box, you'll see right here what function you're using, which is the average. It'll tell you it gives you the title right here, what type of arguments you're doing or function argument. And you are using the average function. Okay, and you have two boxes here. Usually on the average, you're just going to use the first box, and you can see the range, which is B3 through B16. I'm going to close this, and actually you can see the results right here. It actually tells you what your results are, and it tells you right here within each cell what the numbers represents. You can see right there. So sometimes you'll get error messages if you are not doing it right, and you will get an error message here as well. You can always go click on this, help on this function, and Microsoft will take you to a website or web page and actually explain the function and in its entirety for you. So I'm just going to click OK. So I clicked OK, and now it basically put my function in or my outcome of my function. Now, if you can see here, I got 7 point something and some numbers. And usually that's dealing with the cell format. If I right click on that cell, I can actually go to format cell right here. And I can actually use number and just use two cells. which makes it a little bit easier to read, and click on that, and voila, I just have 2 decimal points after the decimal, which makes it a little bit more easier to read. Okay. So, and another thing what I want you guys to really understand and to do is when you have a formula selected, always go right here. See, it says formula bar. When I go inside this edit area, this space here, that's my formula bar. It actually let me see how the formula is written. If you notice, you have an equal sign in front of the function. Without that equal sign, it would treat it as text and not an actual function or formula. So you always have to type an equal sign in front of that function. And then Microsoft Excel knows to treat it as a function. Okay, and I'll go right back up here to the average. And if you see here, you always have your parentheses, your open and your end parenthesis, and you have your range. Colons are for ranges. Okay, anything that is a wide selection. You will see B3 or whatever, colon, and then another cell and its number. All right, so that's colons represent a range. Okay, so this is a good way to actually see if you like mistype something. Always look in the formula bar, and it should tell you exactly what went wrong. As you can see right here, this is algebra. A lot of people don't. If you took algebra, pre-algebra, you always see like these parentheses and things of that nature. And then sometimes when you get into complex formulas, you will see a lot of these parentheses. And basically, that's when you get into order of operation. So in Excel, you will actually do a lot of order of operation within your formula, or you will see that when you put these other cells to use that are a little more complex. Now, I don't think there's pretty much anything else, but as you can see here, it tells me which cell I'm in here in the name box. They pretty much call this like I think they call it the name box. They got so many names and acronyms. Yeah, it's the name box. And then I can just click on the name box. It doesn't really have any selections. This is used for when you started adding different formulas and naming and creating customizing formulas. You can give them names and you can identify the type of formula you're using by the name. Now, if I click on a different cell, you'll see that it'll list the cell that I have selected. Now, the other thing about Excel is that you're basically going to do a lot of things that you did in Word. They might say, okay, we want you to highlight this cell here, and we want you to use a certain color. Make sure you don't use the font color. They might want you to use the background color. So just make sure you understand what you're saying. So they might say, I want you to use a certain type of background color. So it's usually the paint bucket. That is the background. You will select the more arrow. And if you look, you get a preview of the colors. But sometimes they want you to use a certain color. And just let your mouse stay over a color and it will tell you right here, gold accent for lighter 60%. So they might ask you to do something like that. And so we would just click that and boom. And also, just like in Microsoft Word, we can make more than one selection at one time. So say uh, it wants me to select A3 all the way to A11, and then it might want me to select some other cells that I can't do continuously. So I will hold my control key and I will select another cell, and another cell, and another cell, and then I would choose whatever background that they might want me to choose. And see how easy that was? So you can do multiple selections by holding down the control key. After you select a series, just hold the control key down and select multiple specific cells. So that's pretty much it with the formulas, and I hope you enjoyed the videos. Have a good one.